Hello Aries, and welcome to your monthly horoscope for October for the Sun or the Ascendant. Now, one of the key strands of this month is that your ruler Mars is going to be in a conjunction with the Sun for the first 17 days of the month in the sign of Libra. And that's going to bring your relationship situation very much into focus. Also, we have a whole plethora of retrogrades starting to unravel this month. So that's exciting news too. Now, if you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. And remember, if you'd like your free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning, free of charge, you can subscribe below. I've been writing these for about 27 years, and my work is featured in some of Britain's major publications and on websites around the world. And finally, if you would like to ascend above zodiac sign forecasting and understand what year 2022 will hold for you, you can get a forecast for that year, but the rest of this year free, a character analysis, and 30% off if you order now. Please see the link beneath this video. This is based totally on your personal birth data, so it can give you searing insights into the opportunities ahead and how to steer clear of a few pitfalls. But back to this zodiac forecast. So at the very start of this month, we have the Sun and we have Mars, but also Mercury, the planet of communication, all in your opposite sign. So what does that mean? Well, the sign of Libra is known to be about balance, but it's also a cardinal sign like you. So it's very much about leadership and action. But because Libra is a sign that works through the prism of air, it's about communication. So what you're being asked to do this month is to engage with others. Now, that could be in a romantic context, it can be in business partnership, it can be forging alliances with people around your interest, it could be around sharing things with friends. So it can work in lots of different ways. The seventh house in traditional astrology was known as the sector of open enemies. So it can also be the people we know that we have to engage with that we don't necessarily want to. So that can be that awkward colleague. It can be a rival competitor if we run our own business. So it is about engaging with people in that midpoint where we find a balance between our interests but also celebrate theirs and their input too. So it's about equilibrium, and that's very much to do with the balance of the sign of Libra. So at the start of the month, with Mercury in retrograde, the planet of thought and talk, discussion and communication, clearly some crossed wires are possible. And in the first 5 days, Mercury is in a tussle with the power broker of the zodiac, Pluto. Pluto's right at the top of your horoscope, so that could be someone quite influential, like a boss, a line manager, an organisation, or perhaps even somebody who works for you. So relating to someone a little bit who proves to be a little bit awkward in the first 5 days of this month is a possibility. And because Mercury in its retrograde can distort and block and just baffle us a little bit, information isn't always at hand that we want, important not to jump to any conclusions. But it's also true to say that Mars, your ruling planet, is very closely aligned to the Sun. But Mars in the sign of Libra is known as being in detriment because it rules your sign. Where Mars is here, it's not said to be at its best. But I think this is one of those afflictions that actually we can work round, because Mars can give us passion about relating in the sign of Libra. So why not? And by the time of the new moon, which occurs on October the 6th, in the sign of Libra, that's embracing that energy of Mars. So bringing a more passionate dimension. So if you're single and you have someone that you're really drawn towards, what Mars can do is give you a little bit more urgency and desire to actually move outside your comfort zone to try and connect with them. The Mercury retrograde just suggests your strategy needs to be precise and you mustn't rush the process. But also on the 6th, Pluto, causing mischief with Mercury in the first week of this month, well, that ends a long retrograde. So if you have been going through some frustrations around your career or your role in life over the last 4.5, 5 months, that can start to unravel somewhat. So that's something to really celebrate. Now also on that new moon, there is a quincunx with Uranus. And Uranus is in your sector of resources and self-worth. And of course Uranus is the planet of rebelliousness. So there may be something that you need to work on in the following month from that new moon, not just about relating to people, but understanding one another's values, which may vary. And because Uranus can be so outspoken and Mars can be so assertive in the 7th house, if you feel that you need to stand your ground to make someone take you more seriously, I think you will do. But equally, someone could push back against your position as well. So just be mindful of that. But on the 9th, Venus moves from the sign of Scorpio, where it starts this month. So the first week, it's running deep, it's very passionate. On the 9th, it moves into your sister fire sign of Sagittarius. And that's a great location for you, because here Venus gives you a greater attunement to finding the truth of your relationships. But if you're single, it can also see you interested in people who are a bit different from you in some way, or maybe come from a different background. So being as open-minded as possible about relationships is definitely going to be a smart thing to do, particularly at work. And I should say that all through this month, Jupiter, the planet of opportunity, which itself ends a retrograde on the 18th, that's in a semi-sextile with Pluto all through this month. So when it comes to work, who you know can be just as important as what you know. So do try to keep that collaboration developing wherever possible. But on the 11th, Saturn, which has been tracking backwards in your sector of friendship, higher ideals, and your longer term future, that ends its retrograde. So we'll take that too. Very, very encouraging. But from the 10th to the 16th, Venus then forges a very stable link to Saturn. So maybe a relationship issue that you're trying to understand from that new moon can start to really be clarified from the 10th to the 16th. With Saturn going forwards, Venus in your sector of truth, it could be that what someone says they really do mean. And on the 18th, as Jupiter goes forward, so Mercury goes direct as well. I just have to say, it won't be until the 3rd of November that Mercury fully emerges from its shadow period. So just be conscious that something that's blocked or delayed or not clear can definitely improve for mid-month, but maybe there's still a bit more of the story still to develop in the early part of November. And the full moon, which occurs on October the 20th, in your zodiac sign Aries, but it's also going to be squaring up to Pluto. And in fact, in week 3, the Sun is squaring to Pluto. So a repetition of Mercury square to Pluto at the start of the month. The difference now is that Pluto's going forwards, but the Sun has moved away from its connection to Mars on the 17th, so it's freer. But it does mean that however much you try to be diplomatic and bend into someone else's position, they actually might be quite single-minded, even a bit ruthless in defending theirs. But equally, you're just reminded also to play as fair as possible. But some kind of realignment around the power of a key relationship in your life could occur in week 3 of this month, and from the 2 weeks from the time of that full moon, which occurs on the 20th. Now on the 23rd, the Sun dives deep, moving into the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio energy is very much about transformation, and it can be very psychological. It's brilliant for exploring things like esoteric subjects such as astrology, but it's also wonderful for trying to understand what makes us tick at a deeper level. But it's also where we have our devotion, and it's also about shared resources and longer term finances, stuff like pensions and insurances and savings and property matters, entrepreneurship, all those things are really emphasised from the 23rd. But also from the 23rd to the 29th, Venus is in a square with Neptune, and this can really be a bit of a confusing muddle when it comes to a relationship. Even if someone seems to be the bee's knees, just make sure that they don't turn out to be the bee's bottom, because Neptune distorts, and your desire to find the truth in a relationship could mean that someone's being evasive and not really manifesting the reality of how they feel. So not answering questions, not being in touch as much as you want, which could prove to be very, very frustrating. So just be conscious, if you're putting someone on a pedestal from the 23rd to the 29th, don't, if you're tempted to. Now from the 27th through to the 31st, the Sun in Scorpio does square with Saturn in Aquarius. If there is some jealousy or possessiveness around a group situation, or even around a relationship, or you've got different longer term hopes to someone you're already closely allied to, they could be shared. Those issues could come into the open at that point. But also on the 30th, your ruling planet Mars dives into the other sign that it governs, traditionally, of Scorpio, joining up with the Sun. And if you do want to make progress around your financial situation, this will give you enormous determination right through to the second week of December. So a good opportunity to improve your lot in that regard. But if you're wanting to take a relationship from the more getting to know stage, the cultivation, the pleasantries, the flirting, the dating, it's all very nice. It could get very hot and steamy as this month draws to a close. So you can see it's a fascinating month because we have a series of connections between the relating part of your situation and the power part, which is governed by Pluto. And you know, at the end of the day, having Mars alongside the Sun for the first 17 days, I do think it gives you an enormous opportunity. And that opportunity is about asserting yourself, but in the right kind of way. And I think you can do that. And obviously, as Mercury unravels from its retrograde, and the other retrogrades unravel too, it's all very, very useful to you. But that full moon of the 20th of October is going to require a little bit of care. So thank you so much for joining me. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Stay safe, take care, and goodbye.